Was kann man hier von neuen Uli und herzlich willkommen zum 25. Haus und Fata Morgana Let's Play. Und ja, Freunde, letztes Mal haben wir aufgehört hier mit dieser geilen, jazzigen Jazzmusik in der Third Dawn. Und es hatte genau aufgehört mit, so, The Master. Also, ne, die Mate hat so gesagt, so, ja, Master, fragst du dich, warum sie dann Jacopo gemarried hat? Das werden wir gleich sehen. Also, in Come to Light in Time. Und wir sollen sie jetzt erstmal folgen und so, ja, wahrscheinlich.
Let's go. Ja, also.
Das geht lecker aber da. Und.
Ja, bin gespannt hier, wie es weitergeht in Third Dawn.
Ja.
Looking down dejectedly at the undrunken tea, the white-haired girl walked alone down the corridor. Though its calming scent filled the air and there was nobody around to have their heart warmed by it. Nor was there anyone to alleviate her loneliness. Despite being the master's wife, the maid who crossed her path in the halls said nary a word to her. As a matter of fact,
Oh dear, I beg your pardon, madam.
it's fine. One even bumped into her, stifling a laugh as she trotted off. Was?
Die wird nicht respektiert im Haus.
In all likelihood, she had done it intentionally. Das kannst du sagen. The poor white-haired girl who had fallen to the floor stared helplessly at the broken cups. The tea she had made for her husband was forming a stain in the carpet. Das erinnert mich gerade, also es war gerade Absicht anscheinend, aber es erinnert mich gerade an die Mom von Cullen und Code Geass, die so die Vasen was gebrochen hat. Die Maid war im Haus.
Oh no.
Und die ersten paar Folgen. Shoutout an Code Geass Freunde, kommentiert, wenn ihr die Reference gecheckt habt.
Ich nicht.
The maid's behavior towards the mistress of the house was absolutely unacceptable. Nonetheless, it was commonplace, all because of the way Jacopo treated her. The more the man of the house acted cruel to her, the less weight her position as his wife held to the servants. Day in and day out, the maid worked busily, offered little opportunity for leisure, as they would naturally have accumulated quite a bit of stress, and she became the target for them to let off this steam. Not directly, but through a more subdued kind of harassment from the shadows. She must have... They think I'm hiding in the shadows. Or I am in the shadows.
Denkt sich hier diese Gammelmaid.
She must have felt quite miserable. I imagine she would have been better off as one of the maids. On the surface and in front of others. Ja, weil sie war ja eine der Maids, also, ne? Die wollte also im ersten Tor 1 ist sie dazugekommen. On the surface and in front of others, they showed respect for her as Jacopo's bride, but behind closed doors, they acted very much the opposite. The disparity between the treatment she received around others, the treatment she was supposed to receive at all times, and the way she was actually treated made the abuse that much worse. And furthermore, as you have seen through all the doors master, she was a very reserved young woman. She could neither raise her voice in reprimand nor raise her hand in retaliation. I have to get this cleaned up. She extended her spindly fingers towards the shreds of shattered porcelain.
Das Klassiker, sie schneidet sich.
But even the broken cup seemed to have no concern to spare for her. Its shattered edge cut her fingertip when she made to pick it up. Yeah, good call.
Pick it up.
Pick.
Oder?
A trickle of warm red blood ran across her unearthly white skin. As painful as the sight was, it had a sort of tabooed beauty to it. The blood spilling from her fingers showed no signs of slowing down. She clenched her hand into a fist, let out a sigh, and went back to collecting the shreds of porcelain. Ey, die Maid soll die Scheiße zusammenräumen, hallo? Voll sie jetzt intentionally gemacht. But when she did...
Madam. Das ist die einzige Mate, die hat Charakter sein, also ist sie safe ehrenhaft. What's the matter?
Weiß nicht.
Ah, madam, you're bleeding.
While all the other mates ignored her, one came running over, shouting to the white-haired girl's side.
Yeah. We need to get that cleaned and bandaged up. Maria. Oh, you don't need to pick that up. That's not your job, madam. Ja, eben. Die ist ihre.
It's alright, Maria. There's not much to pick up.
It is not at all alright. And the rest of you, why are you just standing there? Your boss's wife is on her hands and knees, and you're not even lifting a finger to help her? You disgust me.
Maria, it's fine, really.
Oh, madam. If you weren't so timid, this wouldn't happen. You're allowed to yell at them, you know.
It's alright, really. It's my fault.
Anyway, we should get that finger taken out, care of. Villain. Let's get back to your room, okay?
But the broken cups and spill.
As I said, that's the maid's work. Now come on, let's go.
Oh, okay.
And the rest of you, get this mess cleaned up.
She roared like a wind in a thunderstorm. The other maids stood there dumbfounded, watching as she and the white-haired girl disappeared down the hall. But they were soon frowning and grumbling to one another.
She thinks... Was?
She thinks she can act all high and mighty just because the master is fond of her. Oh ne, maidservant. Was weiß ich. The woman's name was Maria. She was one of the maids. And she was the one person in the mansion the white-haired girl could think of as an ally. Warum wissen wir aber nicht ihren verdammten Namen?
Ja, ist ein Troll halt.
Am Ende heißt sie
Vater.
Ja, oder so. Vater. Fata Morgana. Ja. Aber sie ist doch nicht die Hex. Weil Michael hat gesagt, er ist die Hex, aber. Nein.
Ja, was ist das nochmal?
Michael hat gesagt, the witch is me. Und dann der Erzähler oder so stand gesagt.
Ja, die Menschen wahrscheinlich.
Ja, hat gesagt, the witch's name was Morgana.
Mhm.
Am Ende kommt White Girl reveal as Morgana. Yeah. Though her husband paid her no mind and the maids made her life miserable, just one person, Maria, treated her with respect and kindness. Da ist nämlich gerade dann Zuko und Lirum im Gefängnis so.
Ja, diese eine da.
Ja,
wie?
ich bin nach Hause.
Ja, die sieht schlecht aus. Müde.
And I'm sure you can readily imagine just how much of a lifesaver that was for her. I too found myself somewhat relieved that Maria was there for her. Being a servant of this house, I was also one of the maids working there at the time. However, I was unable to involve myself to any great degree in her fate. This meant that there was little I could do to assist her, even in times of pain and unpleasantness. The best I could do was pray that Maria would continue to lend the white-haired girl her hand.
Raum vom White-Haired Girl, I guess.
Ja.
And that does it. Okay, cool.
Zwinker.
Mhm.
Ich muss sagen, Maria, scheiß Friese, muss ich sagen.
Ja, ist trash.
Thank you, Maria. You're always such a big help.
Oh no, no need to thank me. I just did what any good mate should do.
Ich freue mich, es gibt ja das heißt Fata Morgana Wiki oder so, ne? Wenn man so sucht, irgendwelche Charakter wie die Eltern von Javi, dann ist es so kein Bild. Hehe.
Ja, vielleicht so Concept Design basiert auf dem, wir wissen, wie sie aussehen.
No one else in his room is in his room, you know.
Alright, then I can drop the act. Man, I just can't get used to talking all stuffy. I'm out there doing my best, but the headmate's still spouting stuff like, Your manner of speaking is improper for a servant. Every single time we meet. Yeesh, come on, just shove it, will ya? You're a damn creep.
Creeper, oh man. Aha, no, you mustn't speak of her like that.
Sorry, slip out the tongue. She just kinda gives me the willies. You know? Speaking of, you dropped the stuff you talk to, madam. Kinda awkward if only one of us is acting casual, you know?
This is normal for me. If I attempted to talk like you, I would freeze up out of nervousness. This is my casual.
Fair enough. Guess that's what guess that's what happens when you're raised well. Did I get counter? I like it though. Has a very regal? What? Regal feel about it.
So egal.
Ja, ist ja egal, Digga. Okay, Freunde, wenn ihr jetzt wisst, was das heißt, schreibt es in die Kommentare. Hä?
Ist egal. So.
Königlich.
Oh ja, königlich. Mein Majestic.
Ja, Majestic.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
I don't think my upbringing is the only factor.
Aber sie halt so lange lebt, deswegen. Ah.
Ich hab das Voice Acting gewusst, ey.
But you know, upbringing is important. Worth a whole lot more than money, I'd say.
I suppose. Thank you, Maria.
Aber die halt so alt ist, deswegen. Oder halt so.
Always so compassionate.
You betcha they don't call me the Virgin Mary for nothing. I practically bleed compassion.
You know, that might be true. You know, very well it could be the reincarnation of the Mother of God.
No. You were supposed to laugh at that. It's just embarrassing if you take it seriously.
Alone in the white girl's room, Maria was acting much more friendly and relaxed as they conversed, as opposed to her no-nonsense attitude in the hallway. The two women were, as you can see, quite close. They had crossed over the wall separating master from servant and built a bond of friendship. And at some point they had begun to speak frankly with one another when no one else was around. Maria was the only person in the mansion around whom the white-haired girl felt comfortable being open. I imagine she very much enjoyed these moments of conversation. You wish to know who the headmaid was? My. Are you sure you want to ask me that, master?
Ja, sie halt, ne?
Some questions are better left unasked, for your own good.
Ja, das war die eigene Maid. Also die Maid. Die Main Maid halt, ne? Glaube ich.
Aber sie hat doch selber gerade gesagt, sie konnte nicht involved sein viel. Und wenn sie die Main Maid war, hätte sie selber involved sein können.
I don't know. I have to say, madam, you have the prettiest fingers.
Ich glaube, es ist nicht die Maid.
Mine are all rough and dry and nasty.
No, nasty.
Nasty.
You think so? Mine haven't the slightest bit of muscle. They're about as frail as dead branches.
They pumped these thousands! Oh, who needs beefy mitts anyway?
I still think healthy looking hands like yours are far more attractive.
What? What's to like about these things? Women all over the world dream of having. Women all over the world dream of having hands like yours.
Hier ist wohl gleich.
Ja, wir sind so slender. Slenderman. Slender, schau, feminine and perfectly cared for. Ich hab schon mal gespielt von der vor 50 Jahren. I don't know, just looking at them lights a fire in my loins. Makes me wanna lick every last one of them. What the fuck are you talking about, Maria? Actually say, can I lick him? Hey, come on, your face.
Bro.
Can I run my tongue up and down all 10 of those sweet little digits? Come on, can I? What do you say?
Stop that, Maria. Seriously.
Sie guckt. I'm kidding, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, Maria.
Alright. How did those tea leaves turn out, madame? The ones you imported. All the maids just adore it. They can't get enough of that aroma. I'd sure like to get a taste of it. If you end up with extra, you think you could spare a sip for me? Tehe.
That was what was in the cups that dropped.
Ma, really? Face. Well, ain't that a crying shame? And Jacopo wouldn't have any of it? God, why does that man have such a stick up in his ass? His ass.
Yeah.
You went through all the trouble of making it for him and...
He was busy.
I'm business.
Not fun.
Business? Nazis. You mean playing billiards, drinking bourbon, and puffing a damn cigarette?
It may look to us like they're just making small talk, but I'm certain their meeting has some importance to their business.
Yeah, true.
It was imprudent of me to try to step into the man's world.
That's just not right. I mean, you're his wife. Why shouldn't you be allowed into the room?
It doesn't bother me.
You don't have to pretend.
Here's an idea. How would you like to have some of that tea now? We also have some orange marmalade, which you like so much. And a scoop of that and a tray of cookies, and we have the perfect tea time. Tea time!
Oh man, you're singing the siren song, madam. But you really should be doing that with him.
He would not have tea. I suspect he does not like it. Oh, dann mag ich Jacopo jetzt schon mal nicht, ey.
Wer ist denn nicht?
Kann der Mitglied aus meiner eigenen Familie das so
Schrecklich ich sagen.
I don't want...
Deswegen viel über die Teezeremonie oder Scheitern.
Yeah, I don't want it to go to waste, so...
Madam, I know it's none of my business, and I have no place at all saying this, but...
Immer so, but...
It's not, with all due respect,
Yeah.
ich hoffe, das kommt mir nicht einmal. It's not impossible for a woman to file a divorce these days. You don't have to sit down and take it, not one bit. You're pretty well educated and still young. Sie ist immer gleiches Alter. Ich frage mich, ob wir irgendwann mal so ihre alte Version oder so als Kind
Mysteriös.
oder so. Ne? Just hope, even if you do leave.
Wer findest du ist der mysteriöseste Charakter bis jetzt im Spiel?
Der Meister, der wir sind.
Okay, ich würde sagen... Aber ja, okay. Aber wir haben zu wenig Informationen.
Ja, eben.
Ja, okay, aber ich würde sagen nicht. Aber auch...
Ja, da haben wir Name und Design.
Ja?
Bei uns wissen gar
Aber
nichts.
was ich mit mysteriös weiß,
Außerdem wir als Meister konnten einfach in den Spiegel reingehen, so what the fuck.
Ja, ich denke...
Oder vielleicht hat Mikkel uns gezogen, keine Ahnung. Oder Giselle. Naja.
Ja, vielleicht werden wir auch einfach nie sehen, wie wir selbst aussehen, weil wir einfach, der Meister soll einfach der Spieler sein. Also der Meister
Ja,
ist
maybe.
einfach wir.
Aber so, ja. Mal schon.
Wir sagen über Meister.
Mad. There are plenty of other men out there. You aren't obligated to stick with that arrogant jerk.
He's just very busy right now.
There you go again.
There was a time when he was kind. Yeah?
Ja.
He wasn't like this when we first met. Back then he was a little awkward, but a kind man.
Ich frage mich, ob wir das Fleischwürfel bekommen. Him, a kind man. Ich frage mich, wie lange es her ist, aber auch. Du sagst so, back then.
Yes, believe it or not, there was indeed a time. Say Maria, would you mind giving me a little more of your time? I'll make some tea and then we can talk. Habe ich was falsch gelesen?
Nee, nur was gucken. Sie guckt, ne?
Ja.
Alright. You're telling me about when Jacopo was decent? I'm all ears.
Indeed.
Ini Persona! Oh,
Oh, nice Bild. Und?
Kritik?
Willst du mal mehr Screenshots machen oder erzählst du viel Spaß?
Nö, kann ich machen.
Ja.
Warte. Mann, Digga! Ich spreche mal so sicher davor. Nicht, dass ich joke. Digga! Okay.
As I'm sure you're aware, our parents arranged our marriage.
Okay. Geile Musik erstmal, by the way. Zweitens, okay, deren Parents. Drittens. Scheiße, die waren da, das ist auch geil.
Was that? Okay. Our parents arranged our marriage. Before I emigrated to this country to be married, I lived in a misty island nation. Portraits of my ancestor hung in the house where I lived. I remember as a child wincing in fear at the sight of them staring down at me.
Ja, wieder so immer drei verschiedene Familien, ne? Das ist auch so. Beim ersten Mal war der Vater war so ein Maler, wurde rausgekickt und sie war halt die Tochter. Dann beim zweiten Mal war nur die Mutter, der Vater war dead oder so. Und jetzt.
Yeah. My mother and father were constantly telling me to show them respect, as it was their hard work that kept our bloodline alive. Well,
Ja, so halt, die Mutter und Vater gibt's hier beide diesmal. Also sag ich, in der vierten Dog gibt's dann keinen. Oder nur Schwester oder Bruder oder so. Wow.
However, they were fighting an uphill battle to do the same. It would have been clear to anyone reasonably perceptive that our house was coming tumbling down. Valuable furniture and paintings slowly disappeared, and eventually the portraits were gone too. As our house collapsed, so did my parents' health deteriorate, robbing us of any source of income. And though I was educated, I lacked the skills necessary to obtain work. Just as we were about to run out of money and options, my parents received Jacob's parents' marriage proposition. Both of our families stood to benefit from the arrangement. I had social status and he had wealth. We each had what the other lacked. One needs more than money to make it in the world. Without at least a semi-reputable name attached to you, you're liable to get laughed out of most social gatherings. I first met Jacopo here in this country. We didn't even know what the other looked like until our wedding day. To be quite honest, I was scared to death at first. I was so nervous. What kind of man would he be? Was I to be wed to some middle-aged stranger? We were not marrying because we had fallen in love like a normal couple. I knew I was in no position to be concerned with such things, but when I thought about our future, I shook with fear.
So ein geiler Sound, Freunde.
But the man I saw, lass safe so Fata Morgana Full Soundtrack durchhören, wenn wir durchspielen.
Ja.
But the man I saw through my real veil at the wedding was remarkable.
Übrigens haben wir gemacht haben.
He was young, he was young, had strong masculine eyes, and at the same time, he too appeared nervous. Und ich glaube, bei Fata Morgana kann man auch die Soundtracks einfach.
Was?
Fata Morgana werden die Soundtracks nicht so runtergenommen.
Ja, wahrscheinlich nicht, weil sonst würde keiner das Game hochladen oder spielen.
Ja.
Ja, wenn das irgendwann echt so ein Soundtrack ist, dass der man nicht hochladen kann, dann muss ich den halt leider rauscutten. Das wäre dann kacke, aber das ist bisher noch nicht passiert. Der einzige Soundtrack war einmal bei Mikkel, da haben die aber gesagt, keine Auswirkungen.
He was shaking as much, no, even more than me. Seeing that, the priest gave me an impish little smirk when he asked Jacopo if he vowed his eternal love to me. I counted myself among the happy. And I still do. And I always do, usually. For in that moment, I experienced true love. You wanted to hear about when he was kind to me? Well, after the wedding, we were given a week to ourselves. I suppose you could call it a honeymoon, though we didn't take a trip overseas or even go very far at all. He looked at me with uncertainty and asked, "Oh, flashback time?
Where would you like to go?"
I beg your pardon?
That's what this week is for, right? I consider granting your request, so tell me where you want to go. Aber so, I consider.
This is also sudden.
Nothing? Well, this whole engagement was spur of the moment. Normally we would have planned a trip in advance. But unfortunately our purpose served so long as we act the part. You must be disappointed that you have to plan your honeymoon as it's happening.
No.
What? Speak clearly. I don't like it when people don't speak their mind.
I'm sorry, but I'm happy, even if this is a political marriage.
Well, you're quite the positive thinker. Your parents say something to make you think that way? Well, either way, if you're so glad to be in this arrangement, then hurry up and decide on our destination. Though there's a limit to how far we can go. If you want to take a trip, I will consider it. What? Is something funny?
It just seemed comical to me that our honeymoon has begun and we're only now deciding where we want to go. Not in a bad way, though. I'm glad our parents didn't arrange everything for us. Perhaps you've heard, but I'm quite sensitive to sunlight and not in the best of health.
Ja. Hier mit dem Sonnenlicht, wie im ersten.
Ja.
Ich weiß nicht mehr, ob es im zweiten da war.
Im zweiten gar nicht vor, kann es sein.
Ja, vielleicht wurde es nicht extra explizit erwähnt.
Ja, sie war ja eh nur die ganze Zeit in meinem Biest im Haus.
Aber, naja, ich würde sagen, ihre Charaktereigenschaften und ihr so Körperbau ist immer gleich.
Ja.
Also Charaktereigenschaft, dass sie nicht so raged oder so.
Ja.
Und Körperbau ist halt immer so aussieht ungefähr in der Art. Ja.
Interesting. So, it would be rather trying for me to spend a full week out of the house. We couldn't go on a trip, but if it's not too much trouble...
Speak up!
Could you show me around town? I'm new to this country and unfamiliar with its customs. And I'm rather afraid to go wandering about my own.
Show you around?
Yes. Would that be possible?
On a rare bit of time off, you asked me to show you around town?
Ja, ist das so ein Trip oder so? Ja, zeig mir die Stadt.
Yeah. Is it really the most exciting idea you have?
I'm sorry. If there's somewhere you would like to go, I'm fine with that. I will accompany you anywhere.
As if I could drag someone who just professed to being sickly all over the country. My God! I've lost all interest in the trip.
My God! Also,
Hello! What are you doing? Go get ready. Now.
I beg your pardon?
Didn't you want to see the town?
You will show me around?
You're the one who asked. Not like I have any other options, so yeah, I'll show you around.
Thank you.
Don't just stand there, you dullard. Get a move on.
Früher war er freundlicher, sagt sie.
Ja, vielleicht heute, so. Get away!
One moment. Wait for me, please. Naja, er hat zumindest sie gefragt.
Ja, so ihre Bitte.
Ja. Okay, wait for me, please. He hurriedly climbed into the carriage he had called for, a look of frustrated displeasure on his face. And then, as if he had forgotten about me until that moment, also Denkrad, he returned, grabbed me by the arm and led me to the carriage. In retrospect, I realized he was not being very gentlemanly.
Ach, wirklich?
But I was pleased that he was making up any attempt to interact with me at all. Super Sache. As the carriage trotted down the streets, I saw so many new things. I had spent most of my life cooped up inside
Most of my time.
Most of my time cooped up inside at home, so it was like stepping into an entirely new world. And add to that the rapid industrial advancements currently taking place. I saw men shouting back and forth as they smacked newspaper articles with the backs of their hands. I saw corner cafes crowded with cigar-smoking men on a break from work. It was like the hustle and bustle of a festival. But every festival has its underside. I also saw overworked men, looking like they were on the verge of collapse, drinking water from a spigot on the side of the road. By the way of the coast, I wore fine clothing and had a carriage at my disposal.
Contest.
Huh?
Da stand Contest, nicht Coast.
Oh, sorry. I imagine every day was a struggle for them just to remain afloat. Had I not married the man that I had, I too might have found myself in the streets in a similar situation. But it was not relief that spread through my breast at the sight of them. It was pangs of guilt. It felt to me like a life of opulence was wrong. Was das opulence?
Wahrscheinlich so der Chilligkeit. Weißt du? Der Chilligkeit, genau.
Ja.
Ja, Opulenz. Wealth, Reichtum, Fortune. Ja, sowas dachte ich mir schon, so luxuriös halt.
It broke my heart to know that I was living so much better than them. Jacob snorted disapprovingly. Ja, so hatte ich das eigentlich nicht gemeint. Seemingly reading my mind and then said,
I kann Gedanken lesen. The poor man who envies the rich, covets his wealth, and finds the ambition to take the same for himself. Make the same for himself. And the rich man who pities the poor, thinking it his duty to give them offerings of philanthropy.
Philanthropy heißt es.
No.
Ich weiß schon, was das heißt.
Ich nicht. Philanthropie. Desire to promote the welfare of others. Okay. To me, the latter is the far more... You can't keep getting away with it! Digga. Nefarious.
Ja.
Ja. Schändlich, also das Zweite ist mehr schändlich. Schändlicher. Excessive charity will ruin a man, make him come to expect handouts. And then there are those with the wrong idea of pity, who let themselves fall down to the same place, mistakenly believing it will somehow make the poor feel better. What a sick joke! If you're going to do anything for them, you might as well encourage them to climb upward. Spur on economic growth and the flow of capital. Doesn't that sound like the better option? Übrigens, Freunde, stay hydrated, immer trinken, Wasser und so.
Ach scheiße, bleibt keins Junge gleich nicht. I say nothing, simply smiling and giving an ambiguous nod, sorry. Das heißt so durch. Kann man nicht interpretieren. He had a point. My sympathy and guilt meant nothing to people actually experiencing hardship. If feeling guilty of my own fortune, I acted upon that pity in the way he had described, it would accomplish little more than self-satisfaction. He seemed to have seen straight through my very core.
To my very core.
And through.
Yeah, through to my very core.
Okay. This was a man who had built his own fortune through investment, which I imagine required him to be rather astute. But doesn't a world where everyone is constantly trying to climb higher and higher sound rather exhausting? I personally would prefer to be in a position where I could watch, if only from a distance, as others climbed. But obviously, I could not say as much to him.
Er hat es doch selber gesagt, er mag Leute, die speak your mind.
Yeah. Sometime later, the carriage came to a stop in the front of a shop. As I looked at the building perplexedly, he gestured to the door with his chin, signaling for me to get out.
Get out.
Lost, Godzilla, and confused, I stepped down from the carriage, and before me spread a showcase behind a large glass window. However, lined up in the case were not precious metals or expensive clothing, but machines. At first, I had no idea what kind of devices they were.
Have you never had your photo taken before? Oh, so photo? Das ist ein Fotograf.
No, I've had a portrait paint though. Are these machines for taking photographs?
A portrait. Eh? Why am I not surprised?
I did not mean to boast.
Go on, get in.
Please wait for me.
Master.
The owner came out to greet us with a wide smile as we entered the shop.
Well, if this ain't the strangest thing I've seen all day. You, bringing a lady, and a real looker at that. Where on earth did you catch this pretty little thing? She's my wife. Huh? Well, I beg your pardon. I'll be a monkey's uncle. What?
Das
ist eine Redewendung.
So ein bisschen Expressions. I'll be a monkey's uncle. Bin gespannt.
Complete surprise, amazement or disbelief.
Das ist was? A monkey's uncle.
Okay.
Obwohl einige Sachen sind halt so komisch.
Cambridge English Dictionary.
Ja, das hat im Dictionary. Es gibt ja so Sachen wie, keine Ahnung, so, wenn man es wörtlich übersetzt, zum Beispiel.
Ich bin ein.
Der Onkel des Affen.
Ich werde.
Ja.
Ich werde ein Affenonkel sein.
What? Ja, don't bring me on the pawn.
Don't bring it fall.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you never know where the cards may fall. You make it sound like my getting married is some kind of miracle. I always saw you as one to choose money over love, sir. Oh, pardon me, this isn't appropriate to say in front of your wife.
This ain't.
Ja, das sagen die aber.
Do you often come to this shop?
On occasion, I need some things here from time to time. Das ist für dein Business. Unserem Business.
I see.
There you go, smirking again. What's so funny?
We're going to have our photo taken, yes?
Ich bin gespannt, wie es aussieht. Auch ich nehme das.
I'm so nervous and excited. I've never had one before. Es kann sein, dass man dieses Foto dann in der Mansion sieht, in einem späteren Dorf.
Maybe.
Oh! Aber das White Girl hat ja anscheinend irgendwie keine Erinnerung von den
Weil die
Filmen.
immer memory lost.
Ja,
Also es ist sehr wahrscheinlich, dass wir der gegenwärtige Meister sie sind.
das kann ich mir denken. Ne?
Aber ob das stimmt, ist das ja.
Vor allem, wir wurden ja. Es wurde in You were looking at your own corpse, ne?
Mhm. Ja, und sie ist ja auch
Ja,
beim
und
ersten,
sie
beim
gestorben.
Tor 2 gestorben, Tor 1 wahrscheinlich.
Oh, schön.
Hm?
Du eins.
Ja, wahrscheinlich schon. Da ist sie Glatze gewesen und dann ist sie wahrscheinlich verhungert auf der Straße. Also denke ich mal.
Echt?
Also nee, ich denke einfach
Okay.
nur.
And to have it taken side by side with you.
Die hat ja eine Glatze gehabt dann, ne? What are you talking about?
Pardon?
Hast du nur ein Foto von ihr, oder wie? Who said
nur ein
we...
Foto von ihm.
Was?
Wo war der?
Who said we were getting our pictures taken?
Ja, warum sollen wir das hier?
Ja, von ihr nur. And side by side, please. You're sending shivers down my spine.
But this is a photography shop.
Und das war, als er nett war?
Ja, wollte ich gerade sagen, was hat sich für eine falsche Erinnerung, hey?
Hey, shopkeep. Product I contacted you about, is it ready? Oh, yup. Sit tight, I'll be right out. You take a seat. There's a chair over there.
What?
I'm going to show you something much more exciting than sitting still and waiting in front of the camera lens.
Oh?
Just do as I say.
Okay. I sat down in front of a large mirror, which I presume was normally used to check our appearance before having a picture taken.
Mirror?
Sitting before a mirror of someone. Oh, else present was quite nerve-wracking. Out of embarrassment, I dropped my gaze to my knees. But when Jacko returned, I was entranced by the curious object in his hands. Oh, ist das?
Jo, dieser Style, oder?
Sieht aus wie ein Teller mit Gravuren. Oder so.
Ich erkläre, was es ist.
What is this?
Do you know what persistence of vision is? Nein, erklär bitte. The human eye does not perceive the world 100% accurately. This is especially true for objects in motion. It remembers images for a short time, so if you put a new image in the same place, your eye perceives it as in motion. Seeing for yourself would be faster than explaining it. You see the slits in the disc, look through the bottom one and into the mirror.
Okay.
Good, just like that. Bring your head in close. Here goes.
Standing behind me, he slid his finger across the top of the peculiar toy, causing it to spin gracefully. And then... Oh, it's big schon.
Ja, die Motion halt. Oh.
Jo. Ah.
Cool.
Ja, das ist das erste Mal, dass wir eine Animation sehen im ganzen Game.
Es ist ja keine Animation. Er hat ja gerade so gesagt.
Ja. Natürlich ist es eine Animation. Alle Animationen funktionieren so.
No.
Dann ist alles keine Animation. Es sind nur Bilder aneinandergereiht.
Ja, das ist auch noch. Das sind nur Bilder aneinandergereiht.
Dann gibt's keine Animation.
Gibt's auch nicht.
Aber das ist die Definition von Animation.
Denkst du das?
Ja. Nein, ich denke nicht, das weiß ich.
So what do you see?
Dancing, a man and a woman are dancing.
Sounds like you're not having any trouble seeing it. Are they dancing well?
Yes, they are. It's the most adorable thing.
Huh? Adorable, that's funny. I asked to have it modeled after a ballroom dance.
Yes, it's a very elegant dance. But you see, they're small, like little dwarfs, which I thought was kind of cute. And they seem so close, going around and around, without ever letting go of each other's hands. This is incredible. Why does it look like they're dancing? They were all lined up in a row a few moments ago.
Goodness! I just explained that to you. It's playing a trick on your eyes. What you're seeing is lots of different pictures in a short period of time. You put it in words, you might understand better.
Keine Animation.
It's an illusion. Schau, it's an illusion.
Ja, aber dann ist jede Animation eine Illusion.
Your eyes are being fooled into thinking the image is moving.
Ja, das ist bei jeder Animation so.
Illusion.
Ja, jede eine Illusion. But they're dancing, they really are. And they look like they're having a wonderful time. Are you sure it's an illusion and not something else? To me, it does not seem to be. I cannot see it as anything but two tiny people dancing.
That's how it works. Reach out your hand and try to grab them. You won't be able to.
Ah, you're right. That's a shame.
I didn't think you actually would.
But it's the most precious thing. They look as though they're dancing atop my palm.
Wahrscheinlich hat das Jacopo dann ihr geschenkt.
I was mesmerized by the strange phenomenon. Pictures were moving after all. Still images had begun dancing before me. It was almost as if God had breathed
eingeatmet.
life into them.
So,
He had called it an illusion, but I could not grasp it. It was such an adorable, heartwarming sight. I imagined the two were off living in some other world separate from our own. They looked so happy. I was almost certain that they were off dancing in their joyous world, free from all the sorrow and loneliness, pain of this one. Sorrow and loneliness and pain of this one.
Free from all.
Eventually, the speed at which they danced began to slow, as if they were resting their legs.
Achso, ja, weil sie hat ja einmal angespinnt und dann wird es immer langsamer.
I almost thought I could hear the sound of their feet with each step.
Die hat die Soundeffekte selber gemacht.
Ja.
Okay, sehr cool, diese Illusion.
Was eine Animation ist.
Das werden wir wissen. Schreibt's in die Kommentare, Freunde. Ja. Darf ich sagen, Freunde, lasst gerne ein Like und ein Abo da. Sehr geil, hat gebockt. Dieses Bild ist echt cool, by the way. Und ja, Freunde. Fata Morgana macht echt Spaß. Checkt andere Playlists ab, Parts, und falls ihr nicht aktuell gewesen seid, dann checkt auch noch die alten Parts ab, von dort 2, 1 und so. Und darf ich sagen, Freunde, wieder schauen. Und
Reingehauen.
ciao.